You know, starting with Brie, when we started to talk about casting the film, when it looked like it was going to happen, somebody in the office said, and we were talking about really brilliant and interesting young actors, and somebody in the office said, have you seen this movie, Short Term 12? And like, people, when you make films, people very often come up to you with casting suggestions. They also come up to you with like, you know, here's a story, you're going to love it, you're going to want to make it into a movie. And those are the two things that you kind of learn to fear as a director. But in this case, the person said, look, just watch this movie, Short Term 12, and I did, and I thought she was extraordinary. And then when I met her, you know, there's just a combination with Brie of depth and warmth. And they don't always go together, and you can feel it in the performance. She has the capacity to go incredibly deeply in a very unshowy way, but she's also got this kind of natural openness and warmth, and we needed somebody who would bond with a child, you know, in reality, outside of the shooting. So Brie was she was the linchpin for the whole thing, but then we went in search of our Jack, and when you're casting for kids, they change so quickly at that age. You really only have about 4 months. You wait until you're about 4 months out from shooting, and then you say, right, now let's find our boy. And that was pretty nerve-wracking because, you know, there were many weeks where you know, it was just, you just hold your nerve and sort of have to trust that something's going to happen. And lo and behold, this little amazing creature from Vancouver in Canada just appeared on my computer screen, being home taped by his parents. And he just was this extraordinary kid. And initially I thought he was so sort of present. You know, there's a sort of way of being in front of a camera that you can't teach, that is just something that makes you want to watch. You know, that's the unteachable part. And maybe he was quite coached, and I worried a little bit about that. But then I went and met him in LA, and I discovered this fantastic, unspoiled, wonderful little kid. And I remember saying to him, you know, acting can be sort of being almost being yourself. Let's see how close we can be to you and still say these words. And you could sort of see a light going on for him, and that was the beginning of a relationship which was probably the most intense professional relationship I've ever had between me and a 7-year-old boy, really, ultimately. It was just, you know, helping him to bring that performance out.